A stormy day, a shipwreck off the coast, and an entire town caught up in a tale so strange it's been told for over 200 years. Welcome to Hartlepool, a quiet town on the northeast coast of England with a history that stretches back centuries. But Hartlepool isn't just known for its fishing industry or its scenic coastline. Oh no, this town has a story that's far more bizarre. You see, Hartlepool's claim to fame isn't about a heroic battle or some kind of world-changing event. It's about a monkey. A monkey that, legend has it, was once mistaken for a French spy, put on trial, and then hanged on the beach. It sounds unbelievable, but this unusual story has survived for over 2 centuries. So, how did Hartlepool earn this unusual reputation? Let's dive into the curious case of the monkey hangers. Before we continue, please consider liking and sharing this video, as well as subscribing to our channel for more content like this. Thank you kindly. To understand how a monkey could end up on trial for espionage, we need to take a step back into the early 1800s, a time when Britain was locked in a bitter conflict with France, known as the Napoleonic Wars. It was a tense period, with Napoleon Bonaparte threatening to invade. Fear of French spies ran high across Britain, and in a small, isolated town like Hartlepool, those fears were magnified. The people of Hartlepool had never seen a Frenchman before. In fact, they hadn't seen much of anything outside of their fishing village. So when a mysterious French ship was wrecked just off their coastline, it wasn't just wreckage that was washed ashore, it was suspicion. Anyone or anything connected to France was a potential threat, and little did they know, what they found that day would lead to one of the most peculiar trials in history. Let's set the scene for this crazy urban legend, shall we? One stormy day, a French ship went down off the coast of Hartlepool. The townspeople rushed to the beach, expecting to find wreckage and perhaps some survivors. What they didn't expect was that the only survivor would be a monkey. Now, this wasn't just any monkey. This little fellow was dressed in a miniature military uniform. How cute. He was clearly the ship's mascot. But to the people of Hartlepool, who had never laid eyes on a monkey before and certainly not a Frenchman, the sight must have been bewildering, to say the least. Confused and maybe a bit panicked, the townsfolk came to a bizarre conclusion. This monkey wasn't just a shipwreck survivor, he was a French spy! And what do you do with spies? Well, obviously, you put them on trial. We are at war, after all, everyone. The trial itself must have been quite the scene. That poor little monkey, unable to answer any of the townspeople's questions because, well, he was a monkey. His little chitters and chatters and monkey noises must have sounded like a foreign language to the locals, which would have hardly helped his case. After not much deliberation, he was found guilty of espionage. The punishment? Execution by hanging. And so, the noose was strung, the gallows readied, and the monkey was sent to meet God. As strange as the story of the monkey hanging sounds, over the years people have wondered, could there be more to this tale? One theory suggests that maybe, just maybe, it wasn't a literal monkey that met its fate that day, but a powder monkey instead. Now, a powder monkey wasn't actually a primate, it was the nickname for young boys who worked on warships, ferrying gunpowder to the cannons. Could the townspeople have mistakenly hanged one of these unfortunate boys instead? It's a darker twist on the story, but it is part of the mystery. And then, there's the possibility that this whole thing was simply a joke that got wildly out of hand. In 1855, a travelling entertainer named Edward Ned Corvin wrote a song about the event, turning the story of the hanged monkey into a local punchline. Corvin loved to poke fun at the towns he visited, and it's possible he blended this tale with other stories from nearby, like one about a baboon in Newcastle, but that's a story for another day. It's entirely possible that Corvin's song cemented the story in the town's history, turning this tall tale into a lasting legend. Now, let's take a step back and ask the big question. Did this monkey hanging actually happen? As much as we all love a good story, the evidence is, well, pretty thin. For starters, no one's ever pinned down an exact date for when this supposed trial took place. The legend claims it happened during the Napoleonic Wars between 1803 and 1815, but there's no official record of any French shipwrecks near Hartlepool during that time. In fact, Historic England, which tracks thousands of shipwrecks around the coast, found that most of the ships sinking in the Hartlepool Bay back then were actually British and not French. And none of them ever mentioned having monkeys among their crew. There was a brief glimmer of hope in 2005 when an animal bone was discovered on the beach. Could this have been the remains of the infamous hairy spy? Sadly, no. And if that wasn't enough, Hartlepool isn't even the only place with a story like this. Similar legends of monkeys being hanged after shipwrecks pop up in places like Bodam in Scotland and Megavissi down in Cornwall. Whether it's fact or fiction, the legend of the hanged monkey has become a proud part of Hartlepool's identity. What started as a tale that could have embarrassed the town has been fully embraced, turning mockery into a badge of honour. Today, Hartlepool United's mascot is none other than a cheeky monkey named Hangus, who's often seen entertaining fans at football matches. The town's rugby team, Hartlepool Rovers, proudly goes by the nickname the Monkey Hangers. And if you attend a local derby with Darlington, don't be surprised if you hear chants about who hung the monkey echoing throughout the stands. What started as an insult has evolved into a symbol of community pride. The people of Hartlepool have leaned into the absurdity of their famous legend, and they've shown the world that sometimes the best way to deal with a strange story is to own it, laugh at it, and make it part of who you are. So, did they really hang a monkey? Maybe not. But the story has certainly hung around for over 200 years, so that's got to count for something. Thank you all for joining us on this journey through one of England's most curious legends. And next time you hear someone mention the monkey hangers, you'll know exactly what the story behind it is. If you want more content like this, please subscribe to our channel, like and share the video. Until next time.